As an absolute minimum, we need to start increasing the fees in line with inflation year after year. And of course, once again, getting across, this isn't money that students have to pay up front. This is a basis of a graduate repayment scheme. However, I think we probably also do need a step change up from 9,000, and who knows, by 1,000, 2,000 or something. And for that, there needs to be a wider settlement with whichever party is the new government.
OK, Bloomberg Radio anchor Caroline Hepker has a special podcast out today on UK's universities, and she joins us now. And this is a really essential part of the UK economy, a success story, but being challenged. What has led to the problems facing this sector then?
Yeah, I think perhaps a lot of elements in the UK economy are going to need an overhaul, but perhaps this one particularly because it's so important in terms of skills and economic growth. The issue is that student fees paid by undergraduates in England, £9,250, that has remained stagnant since 2017. You've also seen a dramatic decline in international students because of changes to the visa regulations under the Conservative government. And you've also got the Office for Students saying that actually out of England's universities, 40% of them are going to run a budget deficit this year. So this is why we've spent a lot of time thinking about higher education. We know that it is crucial to the services economy of the future in the UK. Helen Chandler-Wilde and I have put together this podcast speaking to a whole range of people, including Lord Willits, who was the universities minister at the time when we last put up university fees in 2012 up to £9,000. He now says that he regrets not indexing those undergraduate fees here in the UK. He's basically saying that there's going to need to be pretty much immediate change, increasing those fees every year. And so we've spoken to him and also a number of vice-chancellors who want change under the next government. We've called the podcast University Challenge.
OK, nicely named. So and it's controversial, obviously. Raising prices and raising the ticket for students will, of course, create controversy. But as you say, there is a need to address the funding gap. What is in the manifestos, then, of the parties? What are they going to do? Is there any hope that the main parties are looking to address this in a serious way?
Now, the manifestos promise rather little, and that's the problem. Labour does call the sector crisis hit. They talk about securing the future of higher education, but they don't say how, and they don't actually assign any funding to it. They've dropped the pledge that they had back in 2019 that they would drop university tuition fees. They are such a hot political issue and they cause a lot of protests from students. They've dropped that pledge back from 2019, but they're not sort of saying how they're going to resolve the issue. Also, the Conservatives haven't pledged any new money. The issue also is that running alongside this is the idea of increasing apprenticeships. That's something that the Conservative government has focused on a lot, talking about scrapping rip-off degrees, the sort of terminology that that the sector really dislikes hearing. And yet, we've also got a separate piece out from our colleague Irina Angel this morning, looking at the Reed employment data, that actually shows that university degrees are still the thing that employers want even more now that we're seeing unemployment tick up in the UK, and that actually that push may be going into reverse, even though a lot of businesses have talked about dropping the requirement for degrees.